Hey there, this is Women on the Brink. I'm your host, Chris Jeffrey, a registered acupuncturist and wellness advisor with a passion for helping women live happier and more balanced lives. When I'm away from work, I'm usually outside in nature, either walking the seawall or I'm hiking in the mountains. And like many of you, my life has been filled with moments of hardship, some that I thought I couldn't overcome and really left me questioning my own strength. But through these challenges, I discovered resilience, courage, and a renewed sense of purpose. So I'm here to share not just my journey, but the lessons I've learned, and to remind you that no matter what obstacles come your way, there's always a path forward. And just to let you know, this podcast is not prescriptive, it's an offering. So please take what resonates with you and leave the rest. So, welcome back to Women on the Brink. And I just want to say before we get into things today that this podcast started because I wanted to understand how I kept tripping myself up, like particularly in romantic relationships, but also in life in general. I'd say I was really curious about how smart, capable women, myself included, ended up abandoning themselves in quiet, subtle, like almost invisible kinds of ways. And today, after running this podcast for over a year, one thing's become very clear to me. And this is based on, you listeners and your feedback. And that is that women really want to talk about relationships and dating and finding themselves in midlife and beyond. And it's not really from a like, how do I attract place, but from a more deeper question. And that is, how do I stop losing myself? And that's why I'm really happy to say that Kim Protopappas, who has been on the show before, she'll be joining me regularly to have these conversations. So there'll be different topics, different angles, but always grounded in the real life stuff that we women experience, especially around dating in midlife and beyond. And this week, we're starting with something that she and I just talked about recently. Kim said something very clear and simple. She said that she feels she has come to genuinely love and value herself. And that truly resonated with me because the entire reason I started this podcast was to understand how I wasn't doing that, how I was sabotaging myself and not only in the romantic relationships, but in other areas of my life as well, like I said before. So today, this is the conversation we're having. Kim, welcome back to Women on the Brink. It's really great to be sharing this platform with you again.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me back. I enjoy talking to you. It's fun. Thank you.
So you said recently that you've come to truly love and value yourself. So I really want to get into that. Like, what does that actually really mean to you day to day? Not just in theory, but in how you behave and how you care for yourself.
Well, first of all, I want to say how I got there because some other friends have asked how have I got to that state. So I think what it is that for me, for the last 35 years, I have been I've had people around me. So I was either married and had a husband, had my kids, single mom, had my kids. So I always had people around me. And this is the first time in 35 years that I've actually lived completely on my own with nobody else to consider, not a roommate, not a child, not even a partner in my life. And that, I believe, is a secret of this. It's been over a year to finally understand this is my space, this is my peace. Everything is everything is what I bring to it. But when you're with a partner, then their stuff comes with you. And briefly, I was in a toxic relationship for 8 years where it's nothing but drama and chaos. So I'm really glad to be out of that. And I think that at 65 years old has made me go, wow, this is who I am. This is how I'm supposed to feel. And that's what I think it is. I think it's having this time to myself where a lot of people never get there. And I think there's a real blessing of it being at this age of life because you've learned so much anyway about life that having this time to myself has made a difference. So back to where you say how it feels. it's funny because I always feel like I'm on cloud nine. I really do. Like I just wake up every day going, I am so happy. Everything in my life is positive. Everything I look forward to is positive. Everything is just, it's just positive. And I think that's because I'm bringing that into my world. I don't have anything else to distract me from it.
So, but what had to change for you? Like, okay, you said you had this year to yourself, and this is a totally relatable conversation, by the way. I feel exactly the same as you, coming from a similar background where there was always kids or a partner involved. And now I'm actually living on my own and I'm loving it. And I've had that time, that break to go, what really matters to me? What's important? So what had to change internally for you? Like what shifted?
Actually, you know what? I could probably name that as well. It is finally having found love. So it's just not love from a man, it's love from everybody that I have in my world. So a big part of it is I'm now a part of a family, which I never was a part of a family before. So to me, that's a big part of it. It's I don't know. It's feeling like I am loved, truly loved, that I can truly love. So I don't know how else to describe it. Just like I just feel like I'm surrounded by love. I feel like I have so many people that love me, so many people I love, and I think that made the difference. So finally having no chaos and just love and positivity. And so now my choice is to only have positivity. I don't, if somebody's negative, like we all go through our things, but if somebody's negative, I don't need to be a part of that. I just keep what's positive and all the love and the hugs that you get from others and that you give to others makes you love yourself. For me, that's how I can describe it.
Yeah, for sure. So that sounds to me like you have set up pretty clear boundaries about who you're going to let in and the types of connections that you're going to have with people.
100%. So why would I want anybody in my life that's going to drain me? There doesn't make any sense. We all have friends that go through things and you know, you listen to them through their times. That's what friends do. But for the most part, everybody I know wakes up with a awesome day ahead thought rather than, life's the shits, you know? And there's those two type of people. So you have to choose. Do you want to be around people that are, "Ugh," or do you want to be around people like, woohoo, I'm alive and it's another day? And
Yeah.
that's how I greet every day. It's like, I can't believe, like, I'm just so happy with everything. And why not live your day that way instead of, oh, there's something to complain about?
Yeah. So did certain people or dynamics did they naturally fall away?
Um, well, the biggest one was when you're living with somebody that's toxic, that getting rid of that was the biggest difference. So uh, that was what changed for me. And then, like I say, I have slowly brought a lot more love into my life. That for whatever reason, maybe it was because I didn't need to seek it the same. Because you know, as a single mom, you got your kids, so you got somebody that loves you, you got somebody that you love. Then I was in a relationship, same thing. I think it's when you're alone and you don't have that. Sorry, I know it doesn't. It sounds like I'm struggling for words, but it's about feeling the love all around me and everybody that's around me. I feel loved by, whether they're new friends, which I have quite a few here in Kelowna, and I feel 100% loved by them, and I love them, and it just makes it easier to love myself because there's just nothing to love around. It sounds really bizarre, but that is what it boils down to: is being surrounded by love and positivity.
Listening to you made me realize something. So my mission hasn't been just to learn how to love myself. It's been to see how I've been self-abandoning. And for me, like that used to show up in more subtle ways, like ignoring the discomfort I felt because I wanted connection with somebody, right? Or I was mistaking the familiarity or intensity of a relationship. I thought that was, I confused it with alignment. And I think I used to make myself easier to be with for that person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, and then that's something that shifted as well because I think we've all done that, but now I'm at the point where I have everything I want in my life, so if you don't bring something to the I'm talking about from the dating side of it, so I'm still on dating sites, and so I'm obviously still looking, so I have everything I want. I don't need anybody in my life, but I do miss the company of a man. And it's not, it's for many reasons. To male companionship with a woman is just another nice thing, whether it's a friend, whoever it may be. It's just a different dynamic than you have with all your girlfriends. And so that's what I want. I would like to find, I just like to find my guy that can fit into my world, that can bring something to my world. But if I don't, I'm happy every day by myself.
So it's really just what you're seeking right now is that male energy, right? You've come to a place in your life where you've got all your ducks in a row. You're comfortable with who you are and the life around you. You just want to bring somebody in who's just going to add a different dynamic, and it is male energy you're seeking, right?
It is, and yeah, another thing is to go slow. So in the past, I don't know, most people, I think when you're younger, maybe you're driven by your loins. It's like, oh my God, I'm like driven to this guy, and that clearly is not the best way to go about it. So by taking time slow, by not being in a rush, not needing anybody, by being comfortable in your own skin, being home alone, all those things make it so that you can take the time to find somebody and test the waters. Don't jump into the sack. It's all fine if you do, that's great. But for me, to find the right person, I have to start to see a lot of things first before I want to get to that, because that's just such a small portion of any relationship. So
Yeah, I think that when we were younger, that's what we were doing. We were just jumping into things really without thinking about consequences, maybe. And I think what I'm hearing from so many women is that they don't want to learn their self worth inside another relationship. They want to do this work before one begins. Would you agree?
100%. You have to value yourself. And I've been saying this to lots of the women that I've been meeting in Kelowna here. So you might as well have notes all over the house that say, you're beautiful, you're sexy, you're worthy, all those different notes. And I have them all over the place, because every time you look at them, your head is seeing that and hearing that. So some people go, oh my God, look at my face. I'm 65. I've got wrinkles. I'd rather look in the mirror every single time, get rid of all those thoughts and just say, look at you. You're freaking gorgeous. Like, so it's
Yeah.
that constant reassurance to myself. Like everywhere I look around my house, I never say to myself, oh, look at that new wrinkle. It's like, you know what? I'm beautiful. Like I am all that and then some. I'm not trying to be conceited, but you might as well say that as to the opposite. So when a friend says something, oh, look at me, I'm fat, I always say, no, 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 no. That's not what you're saying. You're saying, look at you. You've got a 65-year-old body that's been through a lot. You have nursed kids, you have raised kids, you've done lots of things. This body deserves to be loved. And so you have to appreciate everything, every wrinkle, every extra pound, everything. So the constant reassurance of that every time I look around my house and see the notes is another thing that has made me love myself.
Yeah, and, I was hiking yesterday with a friend, and I'm on the cusp of my 65th birthday, and I said to her, I said, it's the one thing about being 65, and, you realize you're going into this next trimester of life, not everybody gets to make it here. I mean, that in itself, the fact that we're here, we're kicking, we should revere every day we have on this planet going forward, and make the most of it, because what's behind us, there's way more behind us than there is ahead of us. And I love the fact that, yeah, we've got battle scars, we've got wrinkles, we've got this, we've got that. Some women have stretch marks, cellulite, all of it. Like the people we're dating, do we think that they don't have those things as well? So I think that the thing is, one thing women have to remember is that, when you value yourself, dating actually slows down and it becomes calmer, and you're no longer auditioning. The question isn't anymore, do they like me? The question is, do I like who I am when I'm with them? Do you like that? I
And
mean, it's
that's so important.
right. It's reframing it. It's not no longer about trying to fit into somebody else's life. It's like, how well do you fit into my life? Right? You take
Yes,
the
exactly.
power
And then
back.
like you say, and how do you feel? And our bodies feel all different things. So if you're feeling constantly stressed over this person, all the scenarios, is he going to call? Did he call too late? Is he all the different things that go through your head? Who cares? If that's how he makes you feel, that's not the person you want to be around. It's even if you've just gone out for 5 dates and that's how you're feeling, you're bringing that negative energy into your world. So why would you
Yeah.
toss that one to the side and wait for somebody that you feel calm, you feel secure. You don't have to go through all the anxiety. I'll never go through I shouldn't say never. I don't
Yeah.
ever want to go through the anxiety again because it's like you say, you got to love yourself. And how do you fit into my life? Not how do I work for you?
Yeah.
I'm a catch. I know I'm a catch. And
Yeah.
why wouldn't I say that?
100%. And this actually brings up a really good question because you brought up something that's important. Like, do you think, Kim, that our bodies already know before our minds if something is working or if something isn't? Like, do we
Well,
feel it first? Like, do we get a tightness in our chest or anxiety or like, sometimes you go out with somebody and you feel so exhausted after the date and you're like, did that really work or did I have to work at it? Or you might feel
y-
some resentment or like you're ruminating or, like overthinking it after a date. Like, I feel like sometimes our bodies already are trying to tell us something, but we're not. We're not making that connection.
yeah, listen to your body. It says, I'm sure our parents all said as a kid, listen to your gut when you go out there.
Yeah.
Listen to your gut. If it's wrong, don't do it. And it's true. If you meet somebody and well, for me, one of the things is boring. Like I can't stand boring. So if I go meet somebody and it's generally just like a coffee date, keep it short and sweet, and it's like blah 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 blah, then I really lose interest because my mind's wandering all over the place to other things. So that's probably not going to be somebody that I'm interested in. But on the flip side, I don't want somebody where I walk in and go, oh my God, like I want to jump this guy's bones because that's not good either. So somewhere in our bodies is that middle section where you go, there's something here, but I'm not the sexual thing's too easy to jump into and I'm not doing it anymore. It's been happening enough. I think we can all say we've been there where you're sexually attracted to somebody, next thing you know, you're married and got kids and life goes on. It's a
And
mistake.
it's
So
so much
I don't
easier to
need
get
that anymore.
it's so much easier to get into it than get out of it too, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Um,
So now when we look at ourselves, we have to realize we're completely happy by ourselves. I'm happy sitting around in my jammies by myself in my own house with my own stuff. Would I love to have a man beside me? Yes, it would be nice. So it's got to be somebody that's not going to suck my energy, somebody that is not going to bring anything negative into my world. If you got some major problem going on, I don't want to be a part of it. So
but you
that's
know
how I'm going
what?
to let somebody in.
How do you handle yourself then? Okay, so you gave 2 examples. One, you're sitting having a conversation with somebody and you're bored and your brain's going somewhere else. But what happens? How do you slow it down if you do feel a chemistry between you and that person? Like, how would you do that?
Well, I think don't get yourself into a situation where it's gonna lead to anything fast. So keep everything outside somewhere. So don't ever have them to your house, don't ever go to their house. So get a few dates behind you so you know, okay, because even just going for a walk on the beach, you can get a feel of somebody. If they're starting to talk about a bunch of angry stuff, it's like you're probably an angry person because you're on a date. Why are you talking about things that make you angry in life or whatever? So um
Yeah,
I
not
think
an
just spend a little
attractive
bit.
thing.
No, it's not. And oh my God, there's so many ridiculous men out there. Like I went on a coffee date a couple of weeks ago and the guy, all he wanted to do was talk about himself. And at the end of the half hour, it's like, I don't think he even asked me one single thing. So it's like, it was nice to meet you.
What about the guys? I mean, have you met guys who you have had that sexual chemistry immediately? Like, because we're saying now we know we need to slow it down, right? How do you when you do feel, that guy is into you and you can see you're attracted to him and you feel that chemistry, how do you slow it down?
Well, if you're lucky, the person on the other end also sees it the same way. So it's a really slippery slope when somebody wants to get right into it and you feel the same way. So it's a slippery slope. So you have to that's a good question. I don't know. I am kind of seeing somebody right now and it's going really super slow and I like that because it's giving me more chance to stand back and look and think. And I'm somebody that is a feeler, so I go by my feelings and stuff, but this time I'm actually standing back and thinking and going, huh, so how would this person fit into my life then? Can he be around my kids? Can he be around my family? Can he be around my friends? What would the future like if we were together in any way? And I don't want to live with anybody ever again. So yes, I'm going very slow and luckily he's the same. He's a type A and I'm a type B. So He's a very slow mover, and that's perfect for me because it would be real easy to just jump right in, but that's not
Okay, so
smart.
you are experiencing that right now then, that chemistry.
Yeah, I am.
You're
And
experiencing
I'm
it,
not
and
gonna tell them about this podcast.
yeah, no, but that's okay. I mean, you don't have to get into it, but, I think this is what people wanna know, though, is like, okay, you are in that place where you're feeling the chemistry, but the great thing is your self-worth, how you've arranged your life and, how you're rooted in your self-worth. You're now saying, "I feel this chemistry, but I know from experience that I've gotta slow this down," right?
Yeah.
So is it about becoming friends first? Is that what you want? Do you wanna become a friend to this person?
Well, then again, I think there's a fine line between becoming the friend zone. So, um, I think I think it's really exciting even at the beginning stages like this when you're not sleeping together because it's still all those your body feels good. You see the person, you feel really good. You go home feeling really good. Just a hug from them feels really good. So internally, it feels really good. It's just a happy feeling, and maybe the slow route is a better route than the fast route. So the slow, it builds the excitement if anything is ever going to become beyond it. But right now I feel excited about the whole thing. It's like, well, this is exciting. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm looking forward to whatever it is, if it does.
I get it. And as you go out on these dates, you're picking up on cues from this person. Like you're probably being quite observant and going, he treats me well. He asks me questions about myself. He's not always talking about himself. He's not angry. He's open. And yeah, so you're gathering your data, let's say, right now, going on these dates,
Yeah.
compiling sort of a profile of this person to be able to assess, do I want to take it to the next step? Is that fair to say?
Yeah. That is totally fair to say, and my friend Lynn, who's happily married and found her guy late in life, said, "If you don't let them know from the beginning what things you like, then they're not gonna know." So he opens my car door for me. So and I never had anybody that did that actually, but anyway, so I really like that. So the first time he did it, I go, "That's really nice. I appreciate you opening the door for me." He does it all the time now. So just those little things let me know that he's listening, and then the same thing with, the first date we went on, he brought me a little Kinder toy, it's like it's just thoughtful. So it's rather than somebody that shows up with nothing but to talk about themselves. So
Yeah.
he's putting in some effort, and a little effort is meaningful to me. So we all have our love language, and I guess those little thoughtful gestures that he's thinking of me are things I like. So I let him know, and then he can continue. So then he might be a good partner one day because I have to let him know. And if you're not willing to do them, I'm not willing to compromise myself to somebody that won't give me the simple things I need.
Yeah, a good point. And so what I'm hearing then is that communication initially is really important. He needs to be a good listener. And if he's really listening and getting you, he's going to show up with those things that you say that you need. Because I often feel, and I know lots of other women have felt like you're telling your partner your needs, but they're not listening or they don't want to listen to it. And so this is huge, I feel. Like if you're communicating
It
your
is.
needs and he's communicating his, we need to acknowledge those needs and be demonstrative of them, like opening a car door or, leaving a little note or whatever the little things are that's important to you. It shows that he is paying attention, he cares, he's listening.
And we've all given ourselves up in the past. Again, I think it boils down to sexual attraction, and then your blinders are on and you overlook all the red flags.
Yeah.
Where if you don't get into it that way, you can stand back and look and see. And I don't wanna waste whatever days I have now between now and dead on somebody that's not gonna make me feel good about myself. So, I wanna be treated like a queen. I've never been treated like a queen, and I should be. Why shouldn't
We're
I?
all
So,
queens.
if somebody's not we are, but we've settled for less, and I'm not gonna settle for less anymore. I am a gift. I know I am. All women are. So are men. It depends how you look at yourself, but I am a gift, and you have to earn me. So to earn me, you have to put some effort
Yeah.
in. And that the effort that I ask, very, very little. Like, communication is huge. That's why every one of my relationships ended was due to lack of communication. So my part as much as their part, but I shut down real fast.
Mm.
So I already told this person I shut down real fast. If you're not able to bring me back from that spot, it's going to be a problem because that's my first go-to, shut down.
Okay, so this is interesting because let's just say early on in a relationship and you're communicating with this person and this person is not responding to, what you're telling them you need and how you need to be seen, you start to shut down. Well, that's a red flag right there. Would you stay
Yeah.
and pursue this early on if that isn't being recognized in the relationship?
I would have prior to this past year when I somehow found myself. So
Ah.
I would have, without a doubt, I would have. But now I love myself too much. Not a chance. I have so many people that love me, so many people that I love. I don't need that guy's love. I don't need it at all. So no,
So despite chemistry, you wouldn't override it, right? With the chemistry. You would go, "No, I'm gonna hold off. He's not honoring this, and therefore I'm not gonna waste my chemical attraction just to be with somebody."
no, definitely not. You can't if you really need somebody for whatever the reason is, then you're hooped. So you look at all those catfish things. Those are all people that are lonely. So if you can be lonely, that's a different thing. But when you love and respect yourself, you're not going to accept. I've got a ton of people around me that treat me awesomely. I love it. Like I just keep saying it because I feel so surrounded by love with every day I've got hugs, I've got love, I've got encouragement. I give the same thing back. So when you're surrounded by that in your life, that's what you want. And if somebody doesn't fit into that circle of bringing that, why do you want
Yeah,
them?
yeah. And you know what, Kim? I'm done with, like, over-explaining myself to people. I'm done with chasing reassurance, chasing validation. And, I'm really trusting what my body's saying, like that soft it might even just be a hard no, but sometimes it's a soft no that's gently niggling at you, and I'm learning to pay more attention to that. And, like, so far, I have to say, been around a lot of men, and I'm just like, "Mm-mm, I'm not seeing it right now." Pretty interesting, actually. And I've been in some situations where it's like, I can see that this could possibly go to next level date, etcetera, but I'm like, "Meh, it just doesn't feel right." So I'm gonna say no for now. Don't you think that this is where so
Yeah,
many of us get stuck? We override that feeling inside of us, that nudge that says, this is not right for you. Why are you why are you going why are you doing this to yourself again? Why are you overriding it?
because we haven't learned to fully love ourselves. I know, and again, I don't even know how I got to how I did, but I I won't accept any of that anymore. I honestly don't think that I will because I don't need to. So I think if you're really lonely, that's one of the things like, "Oh, I really want a man." Well, a man is only gonna fill a certain portion of your life. Out of your 20 friends, they all bring something different to the table. That man is only one of 20 pieces to the pie.
Yeah.
So, he's not the be all, the end
He's not
all.
the biggest
So
piece of the pie.
no, definitely not, nor should he ever be, nor should anybody be. We all have our groups of people, and they each bring something different, so and I've definitely sold myself short. We all have, but I'm not going to anymore. I love myself. I'm perfectly fine here by myself. I love living alone, and so I'm at that place now where I feel if it's not the right guy, I don't need it. I can go out and get hugs. I got people to have dinner
Yeah.
with.
Exactly.
So,
I think, that's an interesting thing, using the pie analogy. I think I used to just give too much of my pie away to, one person. And so things were really disproportionate in what I was giving my time to and how much of myself was put into how I felt valued in that relationship. And that's why I think, having this space that you and I have both had away from a relationship for a period of time and getting to know ourselves and what we value and start valuing ourselves. I think now going forward, you're standing there, you got this awareness now, and then you start to say, well, how much of myself am I starting to give away? And that's when you need to catch yourself, right? Like, do I feel calmer or do I feel more activated after spending time with this person?
Yeah, you wanna feel good when you leave. I mean, you wanna feel like you do with everybody else. You go for coffee with your friends and you go, "Oh, so nice to see
Yeah.
her." You wanna feel the same about a guy.
My cup is full after I've been around my friends, that's for sure. I know that. But the other thing is, I also think like if you were to look at, where you are, let's say where you're dating right now, and you're with this guy and you're really enjoying this dating process, because that's the other thing I think we do is we go, we need to get to this point and we need to be a couple. We need to marry. We need to be this. What the hell? Why are we doing this? Why are we not just enjoying the process of dating and the getting to know and the fun and the curiosity that comes with that, right? Why do we have to get to a
Yeah, and
destination?
because I think when we were younger, we had a goal of what the things that we needed, and now we don't.
Yeah.
So when you're young, you wanna get married, you wanna have kids, you wanna have a house, you wanna be a part of what everybody's doing.
You're right. So what our priorities are different, and that's very true. Like, I see it with the
Yes.
younger, generation that their goal is husband so I can have a baby and, have a house and all of that. We get to this point, those things are no longer relevant in our lives. The other thing I think too is, like, when
No.
you're looking at your new relationship, I think this is a really important thing for women who feel stuck sometimes and wondering, am I bringing self-love and valuing myself in this relationship, is to try to look at it from your friend's perspective. And what would your friend say? Like, if it was your friend in that dynamic, that relationship, what would I encourage a friend to accept in this dynamic? So if you can kind of step away and go, look at it as if it was your friend or your sister or somebody else in the relationship. Would you be encouraging it or would you be discouraging it? Like, am I choosing this from desire and love and a good thing, or is it more from fear? Does that make sense?
It does, and hopefully it's not from fear at this age. Again, hopefully we've learned to be at this stage of the game, and it's got nothing to do with fear. It's just got to do with does it feel good? And again, I think there's something really exciting about the years ahead of us because it can be completely different than what it ever was before. If you meet somebody that is financially secure, they have their own place that they live, you have your own. So you come together when you want to for things that you enjoy doing, and then you go back to your own little spot. You might see everybody, you might see each other every day, you might not see each other for a week, but having the ability to go back to your
Yeah.
own space, I think is a big
Especially in
thing.
the beginning. Especially in the
Yeah.
beginning. So you're coming to it from a place of fun and, it's uplifting instead of coming from need. Wouldn't you say? It's not about needing somebody.
Yes. It's about feeling like just everything that you can enjoy from here to now, whether it's with a guy or with whoever it is. It's all about the experiences of the things that you do that just make you feel good, and it's at the
Yeah.
moment. There isn't only a certain amount of days left. So I want every one of them. I don't want to be future focused on, okay, I want to get married. And, a lot of people say they don't want to live alone. They don't want to die alone. They don't want to be sick alone. I don't think that far in advance because that's not why I want to find
No.
somebody. I don't want to find somebody to nurse them or have them nurse me. I'll figure it out on my own. So the day to day, I want something that's fun and enjoyable and brings something, whether it's sexual tension, whether it's, some sort of laughs, whether it's just sitting and,
Having a
I don't know,
common
just chilling
goal or
and
conversation or interest, all
yeah.
of that.
So again, if you love yourself, it seems to be so much easier at this stage of the game because the things that you're looking for to have fulfilled by somebody else are just no longer
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's great.
It's awesome being this age. I love being this age. I have never been so happy with who I am. I every day is I don't see any negativity anywhere. Don't Doesn't matter where I go, what I do. I don't see the negativity. I see everything as a
Yeah, I'm
positive.
with you on that. I have to say I am at a place in my life too where I feel really good with who I am, the person that I am. And I only want to bring in more of that around me with people, experiences, situations, everything, right? So that's the focus. And it's actually a very great time in our lives. We've got our health, we've got experience, And so let's go forward with more of that, more fun. So in closing today, is there anything you want to leave the listeners with, Kim? Like any advice, any funny thing that they should maybe think about going forward?
Well, I think at some point in everybody's life, you need to have a period of time by yourself. So instead of jumping into the next relationship, give yourself a year, 2 years, whatever it takes to get to know yourself. Because when you go from relationship to relationship, you haven't had that. And this year by myself has made a huge difference. So have that time by yourself. And every time you walk past a mirror, you look in that mirror and you go, you are one sexy bitch. Or whatever it is you need to say, look at this. Like, I do. It seems silly, but it's like I might as well go, I'm all of that and then some, because then my head believes it. If I say, oh, I'm that, then your head believes it. So you can train your mind to think positive and be happy in your
Yeah,
own
so it
skin.
is about getting into the right headspace. And, again, in closing today, I don't have all the answers, that's for sure. And I think that valuing yourself doesn't mean you close your heart or you lose yourself in a relationship. It just means that you stay with yourself and just have that awareness around, am I giving myself away or am I really standing in who I am and what it is that I want? So, in closing today, thanks, Kim, for being here. I look forward to more conversations on this. We've got some really great topics coming up. I want our listeners to stay tuned.
Yeah.
You're probably going to be coming on maybe once a month, and we're going to be diving into this, the dating scene and relationships a little bit more. So I'm really excited about this.
Yeah. It's a big topic of conversation out there. Like, there's a lot of single women out there. Some are looking, some are not. But yeah, we'll have some interesting things to talk about. Maybe the next time when I come here, I'll have some more insight what it's like when you're going slow
Yeah,
with
girl,
somebody.
we want to
Who
know.
knows?
We want to hear details.
Maybe I want to jump right in. I'm gonna-
Awesome. So this has been Women on the Brink. It turns out the relationship we've been preparing for was with ourselves all along.